So he's already going to be the wrong side of 30. Do you reckon he should be inching away for a move with the reports to Barcelona and his former national team manager there apparently keen to take him on board as well?
I think it's basically he's at a great football club. He's won the title with Liverpool. He's won the Champions League with Liverpool. So I think, you know, if you're talking about money, I don't think either side is going to make a difference, to be honest. But I think for him, the fact that he's stalling so long, I think it might be the challenge. You know, to go to Barcelona, another massive football club, and tick that off of your list or on your bucket list of football destinations. That will be one thing for him, but also with a manager that he knows and he trusts. So it's one thing, you know, going to Barcelona with a manager that, you know, maybe knows a little bit about you but isn't too sure. But he knows this manager has picked him for the national team all the time, played him at World Cups, played him at Euros. So he'll trust him and trust that he can go to Barcelona and make a real name for himself.
But Emile, grass isn't always greener on the other side. I completely understand the attraction to Barcelona. When Real Madrid come calling, when Barcelona come calling, it tends to be hard to say no. But this is a very different Barcelona who are struggling over the last season or two, who are in dire financial straits. There's a lot of political power play happening. We don't know about the future of Messi. Would he really want to leave the stability of what is offered by Jurgen Klopp, by Liverpool Football Club, to go to Spain, a new league he's never even played in?
Again, it boils down to what Curtis said. You're going to play for a manager that you already know. You know what he's capable of doing, and they would have sold you a project. I'm pretty sure he would have spoken to that manager, and they would have sold you a project that they are building on. So they would have looked at a 5 to 10 year project, and he would have been saying, well, yeah, I could be part of this, or no, I don't want to be part of it because it doesn't look solid enough. So I'm guessing that project, like Curtis said, could, and like you said as well, when they come calling, it's hard to turn them down. This is talking about two of the biggest clubs in the world that I watch all over the world. You know, probably got one of the biggest fan bases in the world. In Barcelona. So yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see if he actually takes that up. But there'll be a project that Ronald Koeman will be building on, and he'll be looking at having him part of that.
You're a self-confessed Liverpool fan, though, Emile. Do you think he should go, or do you want him to stay at the club?
Look, I would love him to stay at the club. But if he does choose to go, do you think Liverpool don't have replacements or a replacement in mind? Again, he's like you're saying, he's going to be 31, he said. So he's probably the wrong side of what everyone classes as being going on the up. So for Liverpool, I think he's trying to get the best deal for them. And again, it's a negotiation, isn't it? If you're that far apart, and it might not happen. But if you're close, I'm sure something could possibly happen.
You made that move. What was the project sold to you when you were offered the opportunity to go to Liverpool? And you did win trophies. I should add that as well.
Well, it was different for me because obviously coming from Leicester and going to Liverpool and going to a club that's going to be vying for playing in the Champions League, challenging for winning titles, etc. It was totally different for me because, again, and I'm a Liverpool fan, so I wanted to play for that club. And in my mind, I'd already envisioned that I was going to be playing for that club anyway. So when they come calling, you kind of just go for it, don't you? So it's a little bit different for me. But they did sell me a project in the sense they were trying to push. At the time, I moved in March, and we were trying to push for Champions League. We just missed out on Champions League, which in the end it wasn't too bad because we won the UEFA Cup the following season. So that wasn't too bad.
The other side of this conversation is because you did make the move to the big club, Liverpool, one of the largest fan bases in the world. Curtis, because I remember when I was a young man, and you were a bit younger as well, and you were really making a name for yourself. Your name was linked to quite a few high-profile clubs. I think Arsenal, at one point, correct me if I'm wrong, but were there any regrets about moves that could have happened for you that you didn't take?
I think there's a difference between saying didn't take and weren't allowed to go. You know, I had a situation when I was at West Brom. I signed for West Brom from Luton for £3 million in the August window. Had a season in the Premier League, and unfortunately we got relegated. But myself personally, I had a really good season, and then I was basically on the verge of going to Arsenal. But unfortunately, the club weren't going to sell me. They were putting a stupid price tag on my head in order to stop me from going, and that meant I stayed. So I eventually stayed, and in the end, you know, the next season, I always thought I was going to be going to Tottenham as well, ironically, and then I ended up at Aston Villa. So it was a great move for me to go to Aston Villa, because the size of the football club as well, the stature of the football club, as you talk about the project, we had a lot of young English coming through together, the likes of myself, Scott Carson, Ashley Young, Luke Moore, Gabby Agbonlahor. So we had a core of English that are going to push through together, and that was a project sold to me. And again, it's a massive football club, so I didn't regret going to that football club for a moment.
But were there any regrets that your move to Arsenal didn't happen the season before that? Because with all due respect to Aston Villa, in terms of competing for trophies, in terms of playing in Europe, the Champions League, where they were regular qualifiers at the time, there must be a tinge of some sort.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's not regret, though. It's maybe resentment. You know, I would have had the chance to work under one of the best coaches the game's ever seen in Arsene Wenger. And also, even though it was a club that was challenging for Champions League, for the title and everything like that, they played young players. So the likes of my position, you think of those years, Senderos played a lot of games, who's the same age as me, and then Johan Juru came through and played a lot of games. And my friend, a good friend of mine, Justin Hoyt, played a lot of games as well. So you've got those people that are playing in games, in Champions League games, in Premier League games, fighting for titles, fighting for FA Cups and EFL Cups. So it would have been a massive opportunity, and it is something that, you know, I would have loved to have done. But unfortunately, the decision was never, ever in my hands. So I tried not to get too hung up on it on the time.
Well, Emile's had his say about Wijnaldum, and what's your say as someone who's not a Liverpool fan, someone who's had opportunities sail past him previously in his career? What would you be saying to Wijnaldum?
Again, it will be a decision down to, you've got a choice between two brilliant football clubs. You've got a club that you've already played for. You've had, I think it's 4 good years there. He's won the Champions League. He's won the Premier League. What more, in his head, does he want to do there? And that's not me saying he doesn't want to do more. If you want to go back to back and win the Premier League this year, that's brilliant. Maybe he'll go then. I don't know. But, you know, what more does he feel he has to do? Whereas the opportunity, again, to tick off your bucket list of football clubs. If you have a bucket list, you have the likes of Manchester United, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Juventus, Barcelona in there. And the chance to go and play for Barcelona, but not only play for them, play for a manager who loves him, basically. The fact that he's so publicly crying for him to come to Barcelona. But also it might be family life. You know, what does his family want to do? Would his family fancy a change of scenery, going to Spain, living in Catalonia and seeing what the world's like there? So it'll be interesting moving forward to see what he does do. But I think it will be, obviously, it'd be a big decision for him, but I think it will be a lot family based as well, because people forget that behind every good man, there's usually a good woman and a family that keep him stable.
And I think it's fair to say that the weather will be much nicer in Barcelona, the Catalonian region, than it would be in Liverpool. No disrespect to those from Liverpool, but it's just facts, really.